Hello everybody. Today I'll be talking about gas masks. Now this is my gas mask collection that I have. I got a US MCU, which is it was just replaced. I think the Air Force and the Navy, I believe, still use this one. But they're kind of weeding them out. I believe mainly because this has a shield on it. It's a plastic shield, apparently small ballistic or something. But underneath it, the actual lens itself is just a silicone. And it would, over time, it would start to yellow, and there's no way of getting that out. So much for that mask. But there's no yellow at all in mine. It still works great. As I said, there's Air Force Base. My previous video is like right near me, so they still use these masks. The next two masks, which I'll get into here, they're both Israeli civilian masks. Apparently, recently, the Prime Minister of Israel thought that there was going to be a war or something of that nature with Iran, so he gave all these masks to civilians. So now there's just a bunch of them floating around. Now these Israeli masks are similar to the old ones, except for, you can tell that they're the newer ones because they got the drinking thing here. You'd screw that off and take this, screw it into there, and then you got this little squeeze bit valve that allows you to drink out of your canteen. They make adapters for them as well. Another thing I'd like to point out, here's an old canteen, actually it's in my reach. This here, that pops off. You can find these canteen lids, you can buy the lids separately, or you can just, you could get it on a canteen. And with this here has a little, here, I'll pull this off. It's kind of tough in there. But yeah, just a little valve, plugs into the top, and then you just hold your canteen above your head, and it does its thing. Now, since I don't have a tripod or a, I will put these masks on, and I'll post them at the end of the video so you can have an idea what they look like. But I won't be doing it during the video. The last mask I got here is a Swiss mask. I don't know the model numbers. I do have the model numbers for these, I believe, which I could post in the description. But here, this is a Swiss mask. These three masks I got from, I believe, it's a site called mainmilitary.com, and they were all $20, I believe. This is just a youth model. This is the adult model of the Israeli civilian, and then this is the Swiss mask. And I did a lot of research in regards to, well, what are good masks? What are actually usable if need be. Speaking of use, before I go into these masks, well, actually, let's go in the masks first. Two masks, exactly the same. They both take, actually all three of these take your standard NATO 40mm filter. These protect against NBCs, whatever, different chemicals, nuclear fallout, what have you, tear gas, stuff like that. And the fronts, exactly the same. The drink valve, exactly the same. The lens, exactly the same. If you look inside here, the youth one, let's see here. There is, it's kind of hard to see if I get the right lighting in there. Right there. You can see that little drink valve. What you do is, while you have the mask on, you cup the front of it and you push it against your face, and you just grab onto that with your teeth, and you can drink out of it. Same thing with this. It's the exact same. Even the actual mouth surrounding piece is the same, I believe, in both masks. Maybe slight. They're slightly different. But Anyways, they have a really good seal. These here, they're relatively comfortable. The adult one comes with a strap, so you can wear it around your neck, and then when you need to, you can throw it on. You can also take off the strap if you don't like it. With the Israeli mask, which I could technically use on any of the masks that have 40mm connection, I got this tube here. Now, why did I get it? Well, because if you ever to use a mask in a combat situation, these filters they could block your view. You know, they also weigh down the front of your mask, which if you're prone or crawling or whatever, it could get in the way. So that's what this would be for. You can kind of tuck it away. They have little like waistband belt setups that you could actually put the filter in. This, I think, was an extra $4 or something. I should have got 2 of them to make it a little bit longer because I'm so tall. But that's what that's for. Over here, we got the Swiss mask, which kind of looks kind of funny. It's got a big old nose on it. This here actually takes an 80mm, which is, I do not know. Oh, right here. You know, it's a lot bigger than the standard NATO 40mm. Now, that same site, Main Military, sells adapters. Little plastic adapter. I believe it might have some grommets on it just to get a good seal. But you just screw that in and bam. Now, why did I get this one? Well, the filter is on the side. And therefore, it's not in your way. Especially if you're right-handed shooter, your filter will not be in the way of the butt of your gun, and you'll be good to go. Now, SHTF and gas masks. Okay. How do we lay this out? Okay. I had a buddy tell me, he's like, you know, he actually has a few gas masks himself, and he said, you know, if you ever use that mask, or the masks, you're probably gonna die. In the event of, you know, if chemical warfare ever happens, some foreign nation drops some chemical bombs, shortly after that, they're probably gonna have a recon team go in there and just sweep and kill everything they can find. Okay? Okay, item number 2, like some martial law sort of Waco event. You know, Waco, Texas, I don't know if you're familiar with that. But if they shoot tear gas in your house or your fortification or barricade or whatever you're hiding in, they're probably going to come storming in there in full force with guns. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a crappy scenario, but if that was to happen, it'd be nice to have a gas mask. Better than nothing, right? Alright, and then your third would be like nuclear fallout. And crazily, that is probably the most practical use that I would foresee. I guess in my area, you know, common scenarios that may occur or whatever, it could be used for that. You know, if you had to go up to the surface, see how destroyed your neighbor's house was demolished. I don't know. Who knows? Another thing that comes up with gas masks and SHTF, all these gas masks that don't work, like the Czech one, they say, you know, that's only for, you know, CT, it's for tear gas, and that only, it's not going to protect you against any sort of chemicals, blah, blah. Now, these are relatively new, these civilian masks. I read a lot of reviews, they say they work. This one here was like, yeah, it could work too, probably just as good as an Israeli. And this one, I know works. I've seen many, many videos on it. They say, oh, well, they throw them away when they're defective or whatever. Well, I didn't get this one defective. So I know this one works. But they sell them. These ones here, I think I've seen them as low as like $60, $70, $80. And the thing with that is like, okay, well, it may or may not work. You know, a good test is you put the dang mask on and plug the valve and suck as hard as you can, and if no air gets in, then hey, you're pretty sealed up. Then it all comes down to the canister, and you're going to want to get good canisters. Most of the canisters that come with these masks for like 20 bucks, like this one here, is 1992. Okay, so that's probably not a canister I want to use. Now it's sealed and it's unused. Will it work? Maybe, maybe not. There's all sorts of reviews. You can really dig on YouTube to find out, well, educate yourself on canisters. I mean, it's your life that's on the line here, you know. Personally, I want new canisters. This will suffice, and it's good enough for now until I can, you know, dish out the money to get some new canisters. But that's kind of where I'm aiming at with all this, you know, as far as you know, it's better than nothing, it's good enough for now, sort of thing, you know. I figure, you know, it's a real seldom thing that's probably ever going to happen. This is probably just going to be a collection that I'll have forever and a day, but who knows if something was to happen. I got some brand new masks that haven't been used. You'll get some newer canisters and be good to go. But as far as this being something that I'd absolutely recommend you getting, well, I guess that's up to you. I would consider it lower on the list of priority items, but you know, if you're gonna have a freaking nuclear shelter and a, you know, a bomb bay, or not a bomb bay, but like an underground bomb facility or whatever, you know, fancy words. If you're gonna have one of those and you're gonna like stock it up with, you know, a bunch of food and stuff, why not grab some gas masks? If you're preparing for nuclear warfare, you might as well get some masks. But yeah, that's my review. Got a little cheesy there at the end, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching.